Welcome to Court Coach Podcast today. We have John, who has bravely agreed to share his story about living with a narcissistic partner. John, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Jessica.
John, you've been through a lot. Can you start by sharing your story with us?
Sure. I've been married to an undiagnosed covert narcissist, and it has taken me years to grasp the dynamics of our relationship fully.
That's a significant step. Can you tell us how things started?
In the beginning, things seemed manageable. She had a strong work ethic, an eye for perfection, and went to law school. I believed our differences would complement each other. The stakes were low, and I didn't mind adapting to her way of doing things. But as the years passed, and we welcomed 4 children into our lives, the expectations and standards kept rising.
What changed over time?
I became adept at walking on eggshells, avoiding conflicts to keep the peace. However, I've come to realize the toll it's taking on our children. They see me as less of a parent and more as someone who succumbs to the authority of their mother. She's in control of every aspect of our lives, from daily activities to what we watch on TV.
That must be incredibly difficult. How has this affected your relationship with your children?
Parenting is the most challenging part. There's no room for mistakes, and every situation turns into a lesson on what someone did wrong. I believe children should be allowed to be children, to laugh, burp, and make mistakes. But my wife plays the role of the prosecutor, judge, and jury, leaving me as the executioner. It's a role I despise, but she's made it clear that's where I stand. Her rules are what we live by because she knows best.
That sounds incredibly controlling. How do you cope with this dynamic?
I often find myself standing up for the kids, but it comes at a cost: lengthy lectures and forced apologies into the night. Standing up to her is not an option. I've been trained not to, but I do it when she crosses the line with the kids. For instance, there was an incident at the library where our daughter cut in front of another child. The librarian gently pointed it out, and my wife dismissed it, saying the other parents should have spoken up. It was a missed opportunity to teach our daughter about fairness and manners.
It sounds like you're constantly in a battle for your children's well-being. How has this affected you personally?
It's been devastating. I've come to realize that divorce, or at least separation, might be the only way for me to have a say in our daughter's upbringing. I feel like I have no influence because my wife is always present and controlling. I've decided to contact a divorce lawyer to at least know my rights. I loved my wife, but after recent events, something broke inside of me.
That's a heartbreaking realization. How did recent events solidify your decision?
This past weekend was the culmination of everything. We visited my brother and his family. I handed a toy to my nephew without warning my daughter, and she tried to take it back. My wife stepped in, preventing me from intervening. My sister-in-law got involved because my nephew was scared and started to cry. My wife blamed my sister-in-law, saying it was her fault for making a big deal out of it. It was in that moment I realized she was never going to change and that I needed to leave for my own sanity.
That must have been incredibly tough. How did you find the strength to leave?
It wasn't easy. I reached out to a few close friends who I had pushed away, and they supported me. I also started seeing a therapist, which helped me understand that what I was experiencing was abuse. It took time to build up the courage, but eventually I left. Packing my bags and walking out the door was the hardest thing I've ever done, but it was also the best decision for my mental health.
What advice would you give to someone who might be in a similar situation?
Reach out for help. Don't isolate yourself. There are people who care about you and want to help. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. And most importantly, remember that you deserve to be treated with respect and kindness. You are not alone, and you can get through this.
That's so inspiring to hear. What was the most challenging part of your recovery?
Honestly, it was learning to forgive myself. I kept thinking, how could I let this happen? But with my therapist's help and the support of my friends, I realized that it wasn't my fault. It was her manipulation. Letting go of the guilt and shame was incredibly freeing. Now, I'm focusing on self-care and building positive relationships.
John's journey is a testament to the power of resilience. It's important to remember that leaving a toxic relationship is just the beginning. Healing takes time, but it's absolutely possible. Surround yourself with supportive people, and don't be afraid to seek professional help. You deserve to be in a healthy, loving relationship. John, how are you doing now?
I'm in a much better place. It's taken a lot of healing, but I'm rediscovering who I am outside of that toxic relationship. I've reconnected with my friends and family, and I'm focused on building a healthier, happier life. I still have moments where I doubt myself, but they're becoming less frequent. I'm learning to trust myself again and to see my own worth.
Thank you.